Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Mary D Show. My name is Mary D. Welch, and I'm the host of the show. I'd like to thank you for coming out this morning. Sorry about that. This afternoon. Thank you for coming this afternoon. And I'd like to thank the replay viewers because those of you that watch the show on the replay, you're so special too. Oh, I'm sorry. We have people chiming on in here. Sorry about that. Ladies, gentlemen, first, I do want to thank our sponsors. As you know, like anything else, I know I don't often talk about it, but just like any other show, we have sponsors that have said we're going to contribute to make sure that this show goes on and that it is something that the community wants. Let's have it go on for the community. So let's thank our sponsors. Our first sponsor for today is Nevada Women in Trades. Nevada Women in Trades, the president is Evelyn Pachenko, and they're having their very first national summit, and it is on September the 10th and 11th, coming up right around the corner here, really in the next couple of weeks, and it will be in Nevada. It's the very first one. It's a national summit, so we like to thank Nevada Women in Trades. Our second sponsor is First Fridays Travel. If for all your travel needs, you can book your cruises, your hotels, your car rentals, and your travel insurance with First Fridays Travel. Just go right there and do that booking. And our third sponsor for today is First Book Academy. For those of you that have always wanted to write your first book, that very first book, that seems to be the hardest book to write, but write that very first book. You go to First Book Academy and you can find out how to do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce to you this beautiful young lady that's here. Let me read a little bit about her because I've been hearing about her for a number of years. One of my very best friends has been talking about her and saying all these wonderful things about this young lady. And I think that's why we were surprised. I was when I heard what she had been through growing up. Let me tell you about her. Her name is Angela. I don't want to say her last name wrong. I'm gonna let her pronounce it for you, but I'll read her bio. It's experiencing sexual abuse at a very young age. Angie became a runaway who bounced from one troubled home to another. At times, she found herself homeless and having to sleep with older men for food and shelter. Feeling lost and with thoughts of suicide, she was headed down a self destructive path when she chose to turn her life over to God, but ended up in the hands of a controlling, abusive pimp. Ultimately, Angie escaped and began her journey of living happily ever after. But this is no fairy tale. Her past came back to haunt her, and she would have to learn to face her demons head on. Despite all of the challenges Angie endured, she prevailed and worked her way up to becoming the CFO of a multi-million dollar music company without having a college degree. She also became the founder and CFO of Evoleros. I hope I said that wrong, I hope I said it correctly, which is the number one Sexercise studio for couples in Los Angeles, California. And now she's the author of her memoir, Chasing Black Butterflies. Her story is not only powerfully moving, but will also encourage you to remember you are never defined by your mistakes or your past. You can achieve anything you set your mind and heart to. No matter what you have done or been through, it's never too late to transform your life from a caterpillar to a black butterfly. I'd like to welcome you, ladies, and I'd like to welcome Angie, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mary D Show. Angie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for being here. I can tell you, as I said earlier, there's so many, I've heard about you for years, truthfully, from our mutual friend, and she would brag about you all the
Yeah,
time.
I love Kim. That's my mom right there.
I know she would tell me, and she would say how you were doing and everything. And so when your book came out, I think she was surprised. She didn't know. Let me just say that she didn't know. But we
I've been
won't.
talking about it for years, but to actually pull the trigger, it took a while. Like it was over 5 years that I've been
Yeah.
trying to do this.
Well,
So
you did it. You did it. I can tell you. And I was mentioning to you, I said, I'm going to have to read it. I've heard about it. I said, I've got to get it. I've got to read it for sure. So, you have it. When we get off, I'm going to go right to Amazon and go right there and get and pick it up. But before we get to the book, let's go back in your because it didn't start there. You went through a lot. And I went on your site and I saw, and it was showing the little cartoons of things you had been through. And I was like, whoa. Um, I have no idea what that must have been like. First of all, why don't we tell the audience a little bit so they kind of can catch up to what really has happened in your life? It sounds like from an early age.
yeah, so it started out when I was like around 4. We had some neighbors, and they were two under 12-year-old boys, and as a kid, I was just playing around outside, not thinking anything of it. And I
Mhm.
saw a dog that was in heat. And at the time, I had no idea what that was coming out. So
Right,
I told
right.
the boys, I was just like, what is that thing coming out of his stomach? And so that led to them taking me into their house and, molesting me. And
Oh,
that was like a train of sequence that happened. Like after that happened,
mm,
I think I tried to forget about it and bury
mhm,
it deep inside. Like I never told my mom about it. So as I got older, I think I started acting out, and
mhm,
she didn't know why, and I just
mhm,
became. I think I just handled it differently. I was always seeking older men, and I always also looking for that father figure.
right,
I
right,
didn't
right.
know my father growing up, and I had two
Mhm,
younger brothers, and they
mhm,
had their fathers around. So I think me looking for older men was always trying to look for a father too.
mhm,
And
mhm.
then, so I just bounced around from home to home because my mom didn't know how to handle me. So she would, put me out or I would run away. And then every time I did, it was always some craziness that went on every time I left the house. So
Mhm, mhm.
yeah,
That had to be. I can't imagine, especially being at 4. The innocence of a child at 4 is so. You don't. You were just being innocent. You didn't
uh-huh.
know and you weren't trying to make fun of it, but they took advantage of your innocence. Is what it was.
Yeah, and
That's
for a
what.
while I think I didn't say anything because I felt guilty. Like why did I even say that about, I should have known better. Why did I go into the house when my mom told me to stay outside? So I think for a long time I blamed myself, which is why
Mm-hmm,
I held it in. And then we had a class, and in our class, I think it was in elementary, and inside the
mm-hmm,
class, she was like, "Does anyone have any questions?" If we're talking about inappropriate touching and stuff like that. So
mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm,
wrote down a note, put it in there, and she recognized my handwriting. And so she called me after class and she wanted to
mm-hmm,
talk about what I wrote. And then that's when my mom found out everything that happened. And I think at first she didn't really believe me because I didn't say anything for so long.
mm-hmm.
Like this happened when I told the class that, or my teacher, that happened when I was like 12 or 13.
Right.
So she was like, "Why did you wait so long to tell me?" And honestly, for a while, I didn't even know if it was true. It seemed like a dream,
Mm-hmm,
and I'm
mm-hmm.
like, "Did this really happen, or did I dream it?" But it was so vivid, and it's the same details, like
Every
over
time.
and over
Yeah.
again, every time. Nothing's changed. So yeah,
Yeah. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is the survival technique that we do in order to deal with it. We
hmm
put it in a place where it's like you said, is this for real? Does this really happen? Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to take it. You wouldn't be able to survive it, is what it
yeah,
amounts to. So I understand. I think if I remember correctly, everything you're saying is all the exact same symptoms everybody has gone through, that's been
yeah,
through the same situation. So, but I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I really, really am.
yeah.
And that now, um, you're at a different place, but it took that to get to this place in life. But you went through even through that as you grew up. It sounds like you went through a lot also, if I
Yeah, like
remember.
I just had really bad relationships with guys. And I had very low self esteem about myself. So I was always accepting things that I shouldn't have and
Hmm.
tolerating people that I shouldn't have and
Right, right.
having to do things for a place to stay and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
the roughest one was probably the pimp guy that I met in church. I actually met him in church. I went to
Hmm.
church. I was staying with my second mom, not Kim, but my other second mom.
Uh-huh.
And she was very religious, was like, if you're going to stay with me, you need to go to church every Sunday. So I'm like, okay. And at
Hmm.
this point, I was like really wanting to change,
Right.
start focusing on school and trying to graduate. So I, went to church and this guy was trying to talk to me and I'm like, no, I'm trying to get my life together. And so he was, and as you know, like pimps, they're very charming. They know how to talk their way into anything. So he actually went to my mom and
Mm.
convinced her that this is the kind of guy I need in, my life or whatever. So she actually like told me in the car ride from church, he seems like the kind of guy you need to talk to. And, he's a very church going man and all this other stuff. Like, I
Yeah.
was like, how did you get that? Cause I had a bad feeling about him from day one. And
Your instincts were telling you. Oh
my
my
instincts are
goodness.
insane. Like every situation I've been in, I had a gut instinct that it was wrong and I shouldn't go. And I still went because either I had
Mm.
no choice or,
Mm.
I just didn't see any other options. So I'm like, or I didn't care. There was a point in my life
Mm.
where I just didn't care about my life. So I was just like, whatever happens, happens. So with him,
Mm.
I was actually trying to get on the right path and I knew I shouldn't have anything to do with this guy. But she convinced
Right.
me. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe she's right. Maybe I am so attracted to bad guys that let me
Mm.
listen to someone who's into church and stuff. So we went out, and the very first day we went out, he took me to a motel, and I saw him pimping other girls out. So
The very first date.
very first date.
Whoa.
And so I was just like, well, and at the time I didn't realize what was happening. I just saw the girl in the motel and a guy and him exchanging something, and then we left
Right.
for dinner. So I'm like, what is that about? And he was like, oh, don't worry about it. So then later on that night, he just convinced me to stay past my curfew. And then it ended up being all night, and I ended up getting kicked out of my home and having to live with him. And then we
Oh
went
my
through a
gosh.
couple of years of me watching him do, like, you know, what he did.
Oh, my heart just goes out to you. Because a lot, I mean, in a lot of ways, this wasn't, it was out of necessity. Because here you are, first of all, you didn't even want to go with them. Your mother convinces you to go with them. And then
Hmm.
he's the reason you get kicked out.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
you were
So
a teenager then?
you said what?
You were a teenager at that time?
Yeah. At the time I met him, I was 16. And
Whoa.
he actually lied about his age. He told me he was 18, but he was really 24.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it took a lot. He was very like at the time I thought he loved me because he never tried to do that to me, like put me in those situations.
Right, right.
But now looking back on it, he was grooming me.
Uh-huh.
Because I was just so naive and young, and he was telling me I had so much to learn, and he wanted me just to observe everything and pay attention. So I think he was grooming me for that. But he was very abusive and controlling. Like if any guy even
Mm.
looked at me the wrong way, or I even looked at a guy, he would, hit me.
Oh my goodness. Well, I know too, this has been that's traumatizing in itself, but like you're saying, now let me ask you this. With all that you've been through, how are your instincts now?
They're the same. Like I have really great instincts, and now I listen to them. I think
Mm-hmm.
anytime I even have a little tiny thing, I'm like, nope. Even if the guy's like seems good, I'm like, I don't have nothing to do with you.
Because you know
Like,
why? You know something is deep down that you can't see.
yeah.
It's telling you it's there.
And the people, and now the people around me, I have such an amazing circle. Like my friends, my fiance now, I just got engaged.
Woo!
I
Oh,
just got engaged last weekend.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Yeah.
So, but him, even I had to cut off certain family members because they were toxic, and I came to a point in my life where I just want to be happy. And in order to do that, you have to cut off certain people. Like you just can't, even if they're family, you have to, surround yourself with positive people. And I'm doing that now. And
Mhm.
like
Oh,
everything is so great now.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that because because I'm listening to you and I think, and I'm just, because we have I mean, our family, grandchildren, nieces, everything, and you try to keep, I guess, some, siblings of knowing what's going on. But the truth of the matter is, do you really always know what's going on? It's impossible to really
Yeah.
know. And I see a beautiful young lady like yourself, and I think, life is all to look at you. They look like you've never seen a day in your life that everything's been fine. To me,
Yeah.
and at the same time, I'll bet a lot of people think that.
Yeah, I get that all the time, especially when I used to volunteer in group homes. That was actually what helped me on my path of healing. Like counseling didn't, it helped me to communicate better, but it didn't
Hmm.
help me feel like what was the whole purpose of this? What was the meaning and
Hmm.
why did I go through all this? So actually helping other people is what got me on the journey of healing, because I was like, okay, maybe I went through this so I can help these people that I've, came in contact with in the group homes and stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, definitely helping. And they used to always say that. They were like, you never been through anything in your life. You look like you grew up in a rich family.
That's what I would think. To look at you, I'm like, it just it doesn't correlate.
Yeah.
'Cause we're looking at you and thinking, how could life have been like that for you? It's hard to imagine it. I'm just gonna be honest. It's hard for me to imagine. And then I think, um, what what you have to go through to get beyond. I can't imagine what strength it took to get beyond what you just told us about to where you are today. I mean, you have your own business. Um, you're the founder and CFO of a corporation. It's just so many very excellent things that this what you all normally think somebody has gone through school, gone to college, got checked all these boxes off. That's what you tend to think. But you're saying you don't have a college degree.
Yeah, I'm actually the CFO, not the founder,
Okay, okay.
of a music company. And I started that just by working my way up. I was, after I got my first job, and I moved, well, let me back up a little bit. So when I left that guy, the pimp, I actually joined the military to get away from him. So he was arrested, and while he was arrested, he wanted me to lie for him to help him get him out. And I told his lawyer no, and I was like, okay, I need to go somewhere because I know when he gets out, I'm gonna be in trouble.
Right,
So
right.
I was like, I don't want to put my family in harm, so I joined the military and I went to the East Coast from California. And when I was over there, um, I met my ex-husband. He was a church boy. I thought this was like, okay, this is what I need. He went to church every Sunday. We got married. I got my first job as a printing, like where I used to deliver printing supplies, and then from there I became an accountant for an HOA company. So
Mm-hmm,
he helped
mm-hmm.
send me to school. He was just like, I see something great in you, so he put me through college courses in accounting, and I, just worked my way up. And then when I moved back to California to be closer to my
Mhm,
family, I got
mhm.
this position. And then I started a fitness company for couples because I felt like there was always something breaking couples up, like there's so
Right.
much temptation out there. So I wanted a fun place where couples can go work out together, learn some moves for the bedroom. And it's actually called Evoleros. It means
Okay. I didn't want to say it wrong incorrectly. Thank you.
It actually
Oh,
means evolving into a sex god. So
okay.
I just teach couples different moves they can practice, and they do fitness exercises and also yoga moves.
Okay. All right. I'm just impressed. I'll be honest. I am just impressed because you're a young, to be a business owner anyway, and you're doing something you really enjoy. That can tell you really, have a passion for that. And you're still involved in the entertainment industry. Industry is an entertainment industry. Well, then, okay, now we've done all these things. Think about this, and you've really done exceptionally well in all these things.
Hmm.
How did becoming an author, how did that come into the picture?
So I knew early. that I wanted to write a book.
Okay.
And I think from watching stories like Antoine Fisher, when I saw the Antoine Fisher story, I
Mhm.
was like, oh my God, that's somebody who's went through the same thing as I have. And I see how he was able to help people. Like his story really helps me out. And when I started realizing that this is why I went through what I was going through in order to help people, I'm like, I
Mhm.
have to put it in a book. But it was so hard to do because one, my real mother, we had a troubled relationship growing up. I knew by coming out with this book, it would open up some old wounds with her, and she would
Mhm.
not be happy about
Oh,
this. So my family, coming out with the book, I knew it was going to hurt my family because they're very private people. I'm more
mhm.
expressive now that I went through all my counseling and I talk to people and I'm like, okay, I want to share because it helps me, but they're more
Right.
private. They're the types that sweep everything under the rug.
Right.
So that was the hardest part. But I knew I had to do it for me,
Yeah. Yeah.
even if that meant losing some of my family, which I did. Like when I came out with my book, I still don't talk to certain people in my family right now, but I feel like it's going to help people just like Antoine helped
Mhm.
me. So
Correct.
yeah,
It is because and I understand the sweeping it under the rug. I understand that, and I think a lot of families. I don't know about your family. My family was whatever happens in our house stays in our house type thing, and I grew up with that too. So I understand totally what you mean by that. But at the same time, I'm sure you, like you said in counseling, you found out that is why these things go on generationally. It's because people don't talk about it.
exactly.
They don't talk about it, and so it just keeps going, from generation to generation, and people go, well, I didn't know that happened to you, because they never opened up and said anything. And we
Yep.
have some people that added some comments. They've been coming in, I just haven't said anything yet. And I'm going to go on and I'm going to start with the first one. This
Okay.
is Sheila. She says, hello. Hi, Sheila, as I go down here. And then Richard he says hello too. Hi, Richard. And the next one, the person is, you guys with these high Marys. Okay, you guys. But this one is for you. This is for Vicky. Said hello. This is Vicky saying hello, beautiful. Hi, Vicky. This is all the way from Las Vegas. We're getting this comment. So thank you, Vicky. And Gwen says, hi, Angie. Welcome. I tell you, this is our fan club. These are people I can't, they're here. I'm going to tell you literally every show. And I thank them, thank them, thank them. They have no idea how much it touches my heart that they're here.
Yeah.
But they said welcome, and they want to know that you are welcome. And here's another welcome. And this is from Sheila. Hi, Sheila and Gwen. They both said welcome, Angie. And then Vicky says hello. Hi, Vicky. And here's Kim. Kim says, love you, Angie. There's
Love you
Kim.
too.
And this is from, Sheila says, congratulations. I think she said, they're saying congratulations for you surviving, Congratulations on your book, and congratulations for surviving. And
Thank
Vicky
you.
says, congratulations too. And Richard says, hello, Angela. Richard. I'm going on down. Let's see. Here's Kim. Let's see, Kim. I'm going to have to read your comment. And Kim said, she's so proud to call you. Is it your daughter? My daughter? Yes. Oh, that's beautiful, Kim. And
And the
then,
funny thing is, she's actually my ex-boyfriend's mom, but
right, right.
she was one of the ones that showed me what unconditional love feels like. When everybody else
Um,
would kick me out or um, not know how to deal with me, she always showed me love, no matter how bad I was or what I did to mess up. She was like, "I'm gonna love you no matter what." So having her like showed me what unconditional love
oh,
felt
that's
like.
Kim. That's definitely Kim. And then we have another comment, diversity multimedia. They said, I think there's a badges. I think they're badges. Thank you, diversity multimedia. Thank you. And then Kim says, congratulations on your book. And then Kim says, she is a beautiful, I can't read it. Just have to look up. Hold up. Now, it's just a beautiful, bold. You know what? When it comes in, it goes up under, I can't read that part.
Beautiful, bold, brave, and brilliant. Thank you.
All right. See, there we go. And then we have a comment. This is from, let's see. Oh, hi, Sue. She said, congratulations. That's Sue. Hi, Sue. I haven't seen you for a while. How you doing? all of you, I'm going to go back through because I'm telling you, they start coming in, and I have to. I didn't want to interrupt you while you were talking, but the comments have been coming in, and thank you to each and every one of you, from Sheila, Richard, Gwen, Vicky, Kim, Sheila. Let's see, diversity multimedia. Another one that says, Kim says, you know, let's see, you know that and remember that saying. That's what she said. Now I guess you said you remember what the saying is. She wanted to make sure she put that there. Well, thank you, Kim. Oh, and she says she's crying. Oh, because what you said about it makes her cry. Oh, I believe it. I believe it. That's for sure. Well, I tell you, it has been. I wanted to really, as I'm just listening to your story, I'm telling you, it makes you want to well up. It really does, because you've been through so much to be such a young person. You know, what I mean, uh, I just can't imagine. I just cannot imagine. Like you said, you went in the military. Did you stay? How many years were you there?
I was there for a couple years.
Okay.
I was still in transition because I was really bad and rebellious. You know, that's one thing about me, is I just hated to be conformed because I was so used to being controlled by men throughout my
Yep.
childhood. So when I got old, I'm like, I'm not listening to what no one says. So I ended up getting kicked out of the military. But
Oh
actually,
my gosh.
that experience did teach me discipline.
Mhm.
It did put me on the right path of, getting a job and working on myself. And so I loved it when I was in there,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it taught me a lot. So I'm grateful, and it got me away from my situation.
Well, I guess my question is, I not question, but my comment is, I think that it was even the military is still due to what had been happening to you in your life. It was just coming out
Right,
in that environment, and so you're fighting against all this stuff because it's like it hasn't been a lot of positive stuff going on,
right,
and so it's kind of hard to give into something when every time you've given into something, it's turned out bad.
right, right.
So I totally think that that's what I think. I mean, I wasn't there or anything like that, but I think it had more to do with that than it did the
Yeah,
military itself.
yeah.
So,
Because I joined for the wrong reasons,
mhm.
and I wasn't mentally ready to actually be in the military. I was just running from my situation and trying to get away from something. But
Right.
I'm glad I ended up in that path because it taught me so much. You know.
Okay. So now, what were you when you're in the military? That's when you took classes also in the military.
Um, Not for, well, for the printing. We made maps, so it put me onto the path of getting my first job in Maryland, and then that's how I found my other job in accounting. So it kind of led, me down the path of becoming a CFO.
I'm back. Well, I would. It sounds like, though it may not seem like it to me, like there was a plan. There was a plan too.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, even now, would you have been where you are had you not gone? I don't know. What do you think? That all of those stepping stones have brought you to a place where many people will never, and they've never been through anything, and they'll never accomplish the things you've accomplished. So it makes me wonder. Um, Let me see what Kim is saying. She said she's always been sweet, just needed love and a safe place. Oh, that's wonderful, Kim. That's what she said too. And she said you've always been there too to give her that unconditional. That means a lot. I mean, it probably in many ways kept her going.
The sad truth about it is, though, there's so many girls like me. There's so many people in foster homes. I mean, as I was doing my research, I read 1 out of 4 girls will be molested before the age of 18. And a lot of the times it's a friend or a family member.
Mm,
So, I mean, you might think you have the most best family in the world, but I guarantee there's someone that will do that, or someone in
mhm,
your family that's been molested or raped.
mm,
So I think having those conversations with your kids at an early age,
right.
letting them know it's okay to um, talk to you or tell you things if something's inappropriate, or they've
Hmm.
had a bad
Hmm.
experience, like making it feel comfortable. Like that should definitely be a conversation everyone should have. I
Right.
tell my nieces, I think by me going through that, I'm definitely telling my nieces and my nephews, let me
Mhm.
know. Even if
Right,
people said
right.
you wrong, let me know. I don't care if it's a family member or what.
Yeah, because I think people feel like they, like you said, they put it in the back like that didn't really happen, or and then what happens? It comes out another way. It
Hmm.
comes out, multitude of ways, I guess you could say. But a lot of times you find it's drug abuse. People get involved in drugs and things like that, or go down, that tends to be the path too. So
Yeah,
I'm
because
just glad.
when
Hmm.
I was with that relationship with the pimp guy, and I dealt with many of the girls that he was pimping out, and I would talk to them because I was always curious, like, what made you go down this path? And a lot of them were very beautiful women. I'm like, how did you get here? And a lot of
Hmm.
them were molested and raped at a young age, some by even their fathers. So, and I feel like instead of judging these women, like a lot of them have been through stuff, and it's like we need to understand why they're doing it and put at
Hmm.
fault the men, because it's like they always get the women are always the ones to blame, and it's like the men, oh, that's what men do, kind of thing, and it's sad, because these
Wow.
women are women and they have just
Right.
gone through stuff and they deal with things differently.
That's true. That's true. Well, if you don't mind, would you mind just reading an excerpt from your book?
Oh yes, so um,
You can show that you can hold it up so they can see the cover. There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you, I'm getting mine right after the show. So you can go right to Amazon. For those of you that get the emails from that come out really almost daily, I did send the link with the email.
So
Okay.
since we were talking about Anton Fisher, which was my biggest mentor, and the fact that I tagged him in a post when I first came out with it, and he actually
Mhm.
responded and said I can send him a copy. So I was like, that made my whole year. Like the fact that, to me, you know how most people, like, if they got hit by or if a celebrity hit them up and they would go crazy. So I'm
Mhm.
like, anyone in the world, this would be the person I would be like, like I couldn't. I was so excited. So since we're talking about him, I'll just read the paragraph that I wrote about him.
Okay.
Um, the day I saw Antoine Fisher's story was when I started to see the silver lining in my life. If I could use what I had gone through to help others, it would give my life purpose and make everything somehow worth it. From that moment on, I decided to turn all of my mistakes into learning lessons and my struggles into inspirations. If I even started to think, or I even started to think that maybe I had gone through all of this because God knew I was strong enough to survive it. I'm a firm believer that bad things happen to us in life to put us on the path to experience the best things. You can't enjoy the rays of the sun if you've never experienced the thunders of the storm.
Wow. It's true. Because I think a lot of it you don't appreciate it as you do having had gone through. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. Oh my goodness! Now I can't wait. Now I cannot wait. I know Kim told me she read it, but she said she cried a lot. She told me when
Yeah,
she was reading it.
it's a hard read because you're gonna be like, dang, does this girl ever get a break?
Oh,
It was
oh,
multiple things back to back to back, but I'm like, and you know what? I mean, there was a few times where I didn't almost survive it. Like I tried to commit suicide a couple times, and I think it was just God
yeah.
keeping me here for a reason. So I think, we all have a story. We all have a reason why we're here, and I think once we figure that out, it helps us be able to deal with life because it's hard. Regardless if you've never
Mhm.
been through anything, life is still hard.
It is. You're right. It's not, and to say that it's anything but that. The way I think I've learned over through the years is when it says take one day at a time. That is real. It's when you start thinking way ahead that you start. That's leads for me. It's like just deal with today. That's just deal with that. That's all you can handle. That has helped me tremendously to just
Yeah.
focus on the day that I'm in for sure, for sure. I know too, on your company. Now, how does that? You said that you help couples
Hmm.
with they exercise together.
Yeah. So I teach Sexercises.
Is
So
it? in one place, one location, or is it multiple locations?
No, so before COVID, I had a studio, and of course, COVID happened, and then everything had to get shut down. But now I'm doing events, so I plan on doing one for Valentine's Day. Um, but if you go to my website, you'll see the link to that. But yeah, it's couples. They come. I'm gonna have a location if we're still allowed to do that.
Okay.
And then they come. They'll learn a sexual position, and then I'll do an exercise in that position that helps them last longer when they do it at home.
Oh, got you. Okay. So this is they go now. It's just you do different events throughout the year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I was doing Zoom classes, and I've done some for like Kev on Stage. Him and his wife, they have a podcast, and they invited me to do. So I'll do people like guest appearances and stuff like that online. But hopefully next year I'll be able to do classes again in person.
All right. I have to talk to my husband about that.
No, it's definitely a fun class, and it's super comfortable. It's just like an exercise, you know. It's not done weird. Everybody's laughing throughout the whole time because it's fun. So yeah, they're done like yoga poses. I'll have them on top of each other doing a yoga pose. Just couples exercises, but it's really fun, and it gets people to communicate about, you know. And I do have them do exercises as far as mental exercises that they can talk to each other about. So I just want to strengthen relationships because I feel like there's so much out there breaking people up.
Right. Well, I do as I know reading too about your book. Has this helped you and your mom become closer?
Because actually, she's one of the people that I've stopped talking to, or she stopped talking to me because of the book. I think she just needs time. Like I told her I was coming out with it, but I don't think she expected me to go into details about everything. So I think I know we'll eventually get back.
Right.
And I think this is actually going to be an opportunity for us to talk about what happened, because when we reconciled our relationship the first time, everything was swept under the rug. I never talked about it. She never said anything. It was kind of like we hadn't talked in 2 years, and we just came back like nothing ever happened. And I felt like I was so wanting her approval and her love that I didn't even want to question anything. And now I'm at the point where if you're going to be in my life, I need you to be healthy and not have a toxic environment for myself. So we need to discuss what happened and why you felt the need to cut me off again. And we just need to talk about it. So I feel like when we do work things out, this is going to be a chance for us to talk about what really happened.
There we go. Okay. It's, you know what I think, and it sounds like, and what you just what you're saying is that it can then make your relationship stronger, because now there's nothing hidden. There's nothing, and that's what you're really, I think, trying to talk, tell her or show her that this is it's good, being good for both of you.
Yeah. I want her to see that our story can help other people, not just my story, but things that she went through. She had me in a group home for girls at 17. So she was going through stuff too before I even, was born. And I feel like it does have a generational effect if you don't deal with it. It can be passed on to your kids. So I think that's part of why I never wanted kids, is because I was afraid that it was just going to keep continuing. That's what always scared me. But now I know is if you talk about it with your kids, then, you can stop what happened in the past.
Yeah. So has that changed your mind about having children now?
No, I mean, now I'm 40 now, so.
That doesn't mean it. People have.
No. I do not want to have no kids anytime soon. What I do want to do is when I am ready to do foster care, because volunteering, it made me see how many kids need homes and how many are abused, and I would want to give one a safe place to live. So I feel like I am the perfect person to do that when I am ready.
Okay, I see what you mean. So in other words, there's other ways to help kids, whether that you don't have to actually have a biological child. There's so many kids that need help, and the numbers are staggering. They're literally staggering.
It's really sad.
Well, I know too. It's even though you've done all this, Okay, we're at, like you said, you're engaged now, you're getting married now, you've been through counseling now, you've been all these things. What is your next thing? I'm like, everything is going like before it was going the other direction. Don't you think so? Now it's going this way.
Yeah,
Everything,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I
I
feel
think
like the next move for me would hopefully have my book turn into a movie. I'm already working on the second book, um, which is going to be my dating life when I did move back to California, because it was crazy before I got here. I mean, I kissed a lot of frogs before I got my prince. So
okay.
I
To
think
find that prince.
yes.
Okay.
So working on my second book, hopefully having the first one turn into a movie would be
Mhm.
amazing. And then, we're planning a wedding next year, 4th of July of next year. So getting that ready, maybe, even adopting one day.
Oh, well, I can tell you from where I'm seeing and hearing, it's no, I don't see any reason why these things wouldn't happen for you.
Yeah.
I congratulations to everything, and really, it's so deserved. It's so
Yeah.
deserved. You've more than gone through what I can't. I honestly, truthfully, cannot imagine what you've been through. I don't think my mind can imagine it. And at the
Yeah.
same time, to see you, and like you said, the thoughts of suicide. It wasn't just thoughts; these were where you were trying to. Um,
Yeah. I've
and
attempted and ended up in the hospital.
no, you were trying there, but
Yeah.
you know what? God did step in and say, "No, this is not your time. This is
Yeah.
not your time." Thank God.
Yeah.
We have comments here. One is from. Let me go in here. I always have to make sure. This is my husband. Oliver says, "Hi, babe." I tell you, I always look. I depend on his. Very good show. Thanks to Angela for joining the show. That's my husband. Hi, babe. So
Hello.
I look for those comments. I don't know if he knows that, but I do. I be looking to see if he comments. And then we have. Oh, okay, let me go on down here. The fire was. Is it Diversity Multimedia sent the fire? Thank you, Diversity Multimedia. And this is Sugar says, I know that's not Kim. Who is that? Is that? Hello, hello. How you doing? I can't. The name just went right out of my mind. I know it. And this is Sheila. She says, very well said. And Kim said, she needs those exercises. She sure does. And then she says, Kim said, I can't wait for the big wedding.
Yes.
Oh, is it going to be
I
a
will
big one?
be there.
It's going to be a big one or a little one?
No, it's going to be a small one, just close friends and family only, including Kim, of course.
Of course. And then Diversity Multimedia, I don't know, what is that? They sent emojis. I didn't see what they are.
Oh, just clapping of the hands.
Oh, clapping. Got it. Thank you, Diversity Multimedia. And Kim has a comment. Angie deserves happiness. God is good. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Oh, Sue. That's what she put. She took. And thank you, Sue.
Yeah, like,
Her name just skipped my mind. I said, I know the name. Went right out of my mind. Thank you. It's appreciated to each and every one of you. Ladies, gentlemen, just hearing Angie's story, just hearing it. Yeah, I'm just be honest. I'm sitting here going, it's encouraging me. I'm gonna be honest. I listened to your story, and I know when I was reading your bio, the one line in your bio that really, the last two sentences, no matter what you have, you say you can achieve anything you set your mind and heart to, no matter what you have done or been through. It is never too late to transform your life from a caterpillar to a black butterfly. I think that is, to me, that affected me when I read that last sentence. Just so you know, I was just reading through it and going, "Oh, there's so many things I want to do," and then I'm thinking, "Well, am I getting too old?" And then you're like, "Nope."
never too old.
Oh,
Never. As long as you're still here, it's never too late.
I know, but I feel like that. So I had to talk to myself and say, "Okay, no, it's not too late. You still have time. You still." And the truth is, as long as we're here,
Yeah.
that's the key. We are here. Then it's still time to do whatever it is that you want to do, no matter what that is.
One thing I love doing is reading about how other people became successful. And if you read a lot of these stories, like, Oprah and the lady who wrote Harry Potter, like they went through a lot of, you know, no's to get to the yes, to get to where they are now. And some of them were even older when they had success. So yeah, it's never too late as long as you're still here.
Well, when you read J.K. Rowling's story from
Yeah.
Harry Potter, and she says, and they have, I think they shrine the table that it's still there. They call them pubs in England, where she would go and sit her child next to her, and in longhand she wrote Harry Potter, and she would tell the guy who's still there how she's gonna be, one of these days I'm gonna be rich and famous, and he's like, right.
Mm-hmm.
So it really tells, I mean, and those of you that know the story or don't know the story, her story was in the rejection pile. That's where her manuscript was. It was not in the pile that they wanted to look at. It was in the pile they didn't want to look at. And what I always get from that story, it had to be in the pile for somebody to pull it out of the pile. That's what, because one of the editors reached in there and said, there's got to be something good in this rejection pile. And that's how we know Harry Potter for what it is, the multi-million-dollar or probably billion conglomerate that it is. But it tells you too, she never really gave up. And that's what I see in you too, Angela. You didn't give up.
Yeah.
You did not, even though you, like you said, you may have wanted to, end your life because the pain was so it was unbearable. But somewhere deep inside of you too, you wanted to live, just not with that pain.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of people who contemplate suicide, and I really want them to know, like, life will get better, and it can get better. Like, had I known that I would have the life that I have now, like, it makes me teary-eyed because I never would have imagined my life being the way it is now. So, I just really pray for those people who are thinking about it, because it can get a lot better.
And it's a lot of people, unfortunately, I do know a few people that succeeded,
Yeah.
And
my father was one of them too. He committed suicide before I got to meet him.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
But also, the reason why I clicked with Antoine Fisher too so much is because the same situation happened to me. I grew up without having a father. My two younger brothers had fathers. And then when I got older, I found his side of the family. And then when I found him, I found out that I had 11 brothers and sisters.
Oh my gosh.
From him. Yes. And they had all been looking for me my whole life. Like, I had no idea. And so he had died in 98, like right when I was in high school. And he told my sister to make sure you find her before I die. And, he ended up dying. But it's crazy too, because when I tried to find them, I called I had the white pages. This is before Google and all that stuff.
Right.
So I had the white pages. I found 30 people in the whole state of California with my last name for my birth certificate, because I didn't get my birth certificate until I was older. So out of those 30 people, I called 7 of them that were living in the Los Angeles area. And I left voice messages for half of them, and then the other one said wrong number. Out of those 7 people, 3 of them were my sisters.
You're kidding.
No. And then one of them ended up calling me back that night and was just like, "Oh my God, you're my sister. We've been looking for you."
Oh. So now you have another family.
Yeah, a whole nother family. I went to he's from Honduras. That's where I get my last name, Maradiaga, from. I ended up changing my last name because I wanted a piece of him when I did find him. So I changed my last name to his last name. But yeah, he's from Honduras. So I flew to Honduras, met my uncle, who it looks like his twin. So I was like, it's kind of looking at my father, and he's buried in Honduras. So I went to his gravesite. It was very emotional.
Oh my goodness. I think it probably very like a cleansing too of to tie the ends of this is what you've been looking for, this, for the like a missing and wanting, and to finally get a chance to meet your uncle, which probably told you a lot about your father.
Yeah, I mean, he had baby pictures of me when I was, a baby, because he was in my life till 1 year old, and then my mom disappeared and he couldn't find me. So he didn't know English very well. So he had a hard time trouble finding me. So he had baby pictures up until I was 1. He had a whole photo album. My grandmother had photos of me in Honduras. It was so crazy. And it's funny because like looking at my siblings, they're all Honduran. I'm the only one that's mitzvah black, but like just seeing them and how much we look alike, I'm like, I couldn't believe that there was another face out there that was part of me. So it was amazing.
That's, it sounds to me that would be, so exciting to just find them
Yeah,
after all these years. And
definitely closure. And I feel like my father was the one looking out for me in heaven, was my guardian angel for all these things. I'm like, how am I still alive? How?
God, that's how. Like you said,
somebody's definitely putting in overtime up there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt. Well, I can tell you this, just hearing these are, I mean, it sounds like a movie. If you think about all of this literally sounds like I'm gonna go watch this on a movie because it's so unbelievable. All of these, everything, even the your father and finding him, though he had passed away, but still connecting with your uncles and connecting with your sisters and brothers on that side. Anything could happen where you never found them,
right?
But when you found his last name, that's what made the connection on your birth certificate.
My last name Maradiaga is so rare, so I lucked out on that. It's the fact that there wasn't too many people who I wasn't related to with that last name.
Right.
So and then I have 6 out here in the States, 1 in 3 or 4 in California, New Orleans, and Miami, and then the rest are in Honduras. So I met all of them except 1, which he died before I had a chance to meet him. But I talked to him on the phone, so I got at least a chance to connect with every one of them.
So do you guys still communicate?
I think the cultural difference, because a lot of them don't speak English.
Okay.
So we're Facebook friends. I see their lives and stuff like that. I do want to go to Honduras to see them again, but I have a brother who I'm really close to out there in Honduras. But he doesn't speak English. But yeah, I mean, I still connect with them. It's just not as much because of the language difference.
Right. Well, I can tell. I just hearing you talk about them, your face lights up. And we have more comments. So the comment is, this is from Sue. Sue says, communication is key. Thank you, Sue. And Gwendolyn says, great show. God saved you for his purpose. Go forth and change lives. Thank you, Gwendolyn. That's my cousin, Gwen. Hi, Gwen. And Vicky sent emojis. Thank you, Miss Vicky, all the way from Las Vegas. And Kim says, just so happy for you. I think we all are. I mean, I know I am. I'm happy really, it's just hearing your story and everything you've been through. And then to see, like I said, it's almost like you have to go through all that to get to all the good side of this, the good, the good that's going. And then Kim said, wonderful story. It is, isn't it? I'm telling you, it feels like, and I'm a writer, so I'm listening to you. I'm like, I could write this story. Because that's what it sounds like. It literally sounds like a movie. It really.
I mean, I did get that too. When people read the book, they said they feel like they're reading a movie. Like it's so, because I, when I talk, I'm very graphic and blunt. So I wrote my book the same way. It's very graphic. So
okay, I haven't read it yet, but it's coming. I can tell. That's for sure. For sure. Well, I could tell you, Angie, I know we're nearing the end of the program, and I want to make sure that you have time. Are there any comments you want to leave? Because our audience is broad. I know you can't go by who you see now, because people come on, they see the show all the time. You're talking to young people, old people, all ages. What comments would you give everyone that's here now that to keep them encouraged?
Well, one thing I do want to say is never judge a book by its cover. You never know what someone's gone through, even if they look like they've never been through anything. Never judge anyone. Like we all go through stuff. We all handle things differently. So you can't judge someone and how they chose to handle life. Right. And it's never too late to turn into a black butterfly. So whatever goals you've always had in life or think you always wanted to do it. You know, the only thing that's stopping you is yourself.
All right, all right. Well, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the Mary D Show for taking time. I know you're a busy lady, but you took time out today to spend some time with us, and we'd like to thank you, and we really do appreciate you for doing that. And I would encourage anyone that's on the Caesar Show, please go and get her book. We want to support her, this beautiful young lady with Chasing Black Butterflies. It is on Amazon. You can pick it up. I think it's like, is it 12? Would I see 12 something? I don't remember what the price
Yeah,
was.
it's $14 or $15 on Amazon. And I also, if you go to my website, chasingblackbutterflies.com, you'll I do send autograph copies too on there for $20. And then you can also see there's a link for the Sexercise classes too as well.
So you can join all of those things. Well, congratulations on your engagement and soon to be wedding. I know I'm really excited and happy for you for that. Congratulations on you, but congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
I'm so
you having me too.
Oh, I'm honored to have you. I'm just so happy for you that you've gotten to the way. When I say to the other side, it's way to the other side of what you've been through. It's just I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. So thank you again. And I hope you'll come back again when your second book comes out.
Of course, of course.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Ladies, we have one more comment. Before you go, there's one more comment, and it is, hold on. I think it's Vicky says, thank you telling your story for helping other young ladies. Hold on. That was Kim's, and here's Vicky's there we go. Oh, and Sheila said she enjoyed this. And then we have Sue that says, thank you. They're still rolling right in. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, all righty. Ladies and gentlemen, we have had this beautiful young lady that has really, I'll be honest, she encouraged me. Let me just be honest with all of you. Just hearing her story and everything she's been through, it's been like, whoa. So now I'm gonna keep my word. At the end of this show today, I'm going to go straight to Amazon and purchase her book. I hope you guys all do the same. All of those make a difference. It makes a difference. Amazon tracks. So those of you not familiar with what they do, they track every single book that's purchased. They know who purchased it, when it's purchased, how many, all of that. You don't have to, as an author, you don't have to do any of that. But it just helps her book it rises up in the ratings on Amazon. The more books purchased, the higher her rating is as an author. And that does make a difference. So if you just have a moment today to go to Amazon, and I didn't put the link in there. I'm so sorry I didn't put the link in the message. But if you're on the email list, it's in the email. And those of you that are not on the email list, all you do is go to marydwelch.com and you can join the email list from there. Go to Mary, M-A-R-Y-D Welch.com and you can join the email list. Before we get off today, I do want to thank again our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen, because those sponsors make a difference in the show. And I'd like to also thank Kim Foster Morris. She is the one that told me all about Angela and wanted to introduce her to the Mary D Show. So thank you, Kim. I know you're out there. So thank you. She is a pleasure, beautiful young lady, a pleasure to have on the show. And I'm really, like I said, I would take a look at it. I'm getting to where I'm starting to do some screenwriting. So, thank you, Vicky. Vicky says, great show as always. That's so sweet of you, Vicky. Thank you, Miss Vicky. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank again our sponsors before we end the show. Oh, she said she didn't get her text today. Yo, listen to Vicky. You know what? You are absolutely right. You know why? Vicky said she didn't get her text. That's my fault. I didn't send the text out today, Vicky. You see, look at me. Normally, those of you that are on the texting system, you text 474747 and you get text messages. Usually they go out the Sunday or the Monday of the show. So that's my fault. And I want to also let you know, we do have the show on Monday, but one of our guests could not be on Monday next week. Instead, he's going to be on Tuesday, which is different. So I have the Monday show, but I will also have a Tuesday. I call them the special presentations. It'll be next Tuesday, and that is with Mr. Jerry Green. He's going to come on. So he's looking forward to that, and it's really exciting because he's going to come and talk about a magazine. And we're down to 1 minute. Our sponsors for today again are Nevada Women in Trade, NevadaWomenInTrade.org. Please support them. FirstFridaysTravel.com, FirstBookAcademy.com. All of those are sponsors for the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you, each and every one. Oh, I love you too, Sheila. Thank you for coming. I will see you on Monday. God bless each and every one of you. All right. Bye bye.